our claim is with deep dedication. And I do believe that, you cannot actually pronounce and express a purpose if you don't believe in it, if your heart and your soul is not behind that. We want to show to the public we are there for our clients. We are there for the society. We want that people are actually feeling protected with our help.
Welcome to This is Deutsche Bank, the podcast for news and trends shaping the world of banking and finance. I'm Ben Alka. Today's the 21st of May. Let's get started. When people think of Deutsche Bank, they think of a global bank, markets, and complex decisions in a volatile world. But a few years ago, we asked ourselves a more fundamental question. Why does a bank like ours exist? And how should that shape the choices we make every day? That led us to our purpose, to be dedicated to our clients' lasting success and financial security at home and abroad. Last year, I spoke with our chairman, Alex Wynaendts, about why purpose matters. Today, we want to bring it to life, showing what it looks like in practice. And our focus has shifted from asking, do we believe in this, towards ensuring that others recognize it in how we show up every day. Today, that's what we want to discuss with our CEO, Christian Sewing. Christian, it's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
For many listeners, it's the first time they hear Deutsche Bank talk about purpose. Can we start by talking a little bit what this quest to become purpose-led is all about?
I do believe that purpose is something which is providing direction. And if you are running a company with 90,000 people, with fortunately millions and millions of clients, you need to give a long-term direction. You give a kind of a North Star where you would like to be, for what Deutsche Bank stands. And that is all about the purpose. We need to be able actually to explain in one sentence what Deutsche Bank is all about. And that should not change. I want to have a purpose which is valid for the next decades. And if you create something like that, then you give direction for your clients, direction for your people, direction for other stakeholders like investors. But you also play a key role in the society, and that's all about purpose.
Let's take a look behind the scenes. We've introduced that purpose 2 years ago.
Yeah.
How has it shaped our journey ever since? What were the pivotal moments where that purpose started making a difference from your perspective?
Well, the pivotal moment was, first of all, when we established it. I have to say that Alex Wynaendts played a really critical role in defining the purpose, because he wanted to create that, what I was just talking about, thinking about for what is Deutsche Bank standing in one sentence, a long-term ambition, a long-term North Star building. So that was the first pivotal moment. The other one, I would say, Ben, when we actually decided upon our future strategy and as a preparation for the Investor Day on November 17th, 2025, because we had to take many decisions. We had to take business decisions. We had to take financial decisions. And I just told you about what purpose is all about. It's actually a long-term North Star. And that means that, always having the purpose, so to say, at the heart of your decision means also that you are not taking short-term decisions, but that you build the company long-term. And therefore a purpose. And the purpose was actually a wonderful reminder for all our discussions in August, September, October last year, that we want to build Deutsche Bank for the long term. And while that means that we also need short-term optimization and that we want to improve quarter by quarter in terms of client experience, in terms of satisfactions to our clients, in terms of financial development, there must be something long-term branded for Deutsche Bank. And hence, I would say the purpose was always at the center of our discussions. And when we came to critical moments, be it business decisions, be it structural decisions, be it people decisions, we always came back and said, is that decision supported by our purpose? And hence, I would say it was kind of in the root of our discussion making in the Investor Day. And I do believe that this is also a reason that in particular also our internal employees are following this purpose and also the direction of the bank so much, because they know and they see that we are actually linking the long-term strategy of the company with our given purpose.
Can I just follow up on that last bit you hinted to our employees? Now, making purpose tangible for 90,000 people in so many markets, of course, is a major undertaking. If we get it right, and building on what you just said, what should that feel like for our employees across the globe?
That we have a culture which is, so to say, a Deutsche Bank culture, which is a culture which is aligned to this purpose. And by the way, Ben, this is not something which we can achieve in a month, in a quarter. It's constantly evolving. But if you have a long-term orientation, therefore I'm always taking the word either direction or a North Star, people know in which direction we want to go. We had so long discussions actually on the words in our purpose, be it lasting success or be it financial security. And that gives direction to our people how they should behave. Second part is if you really look into our purpose statement, it's all around our clients. We want to put the client into the center of what we are doing. If you translate that and to our 90,000 people, we don't only have client-facing people. We have people doing risk management decisions, being in compliance in AFC, in other, so to say, infrastructure departments. But I want that all of the 90,000 people are actually thinking in terms of what can we do better, how and where can we improve in the end, with the end goal, how can we make it better in terms of client experience? And, if we think about more aligned and clearer and faster credit decisions, that includes risk management. But if we are faster there and if we improve our processes there, it has a positive impact on our client experience. And therefore, what I would like to create is actually cultural standards, a culture which is supporting the purpose. And all of the 90,000 people should, and I think more and more understand that they can contribute positively to this purpose.
Turning to the outside, what should the broader public recognize in how Deutsche Bank thinks, acts, and shows up, led by this purpose?
Well, first of all, that we are a bank where the client is at the center of everything what we are doing. Secondly, that we want to provide a safety and a protection to our clients, in particular in the world we are in. I mean, this world is volatile and uncertain as we have hardly seen it over the last 3-4 decades. And therefore, we are talking about words like lasting success. It's not about the short-term success. It's a lasting success. We are talking about financial security. We have millions of retail clients who are thinking about their protection when they are coming into their pension age. That is all about financial security. For that, the word lasting success is not the preeminent, but financial security. And that's what we are trying to combine. So the first item is that we want to show to the public we are there for our clients. We are there for the society. We want that people are actually feeling protected with our help. And the second part is with this a purpose statement that hopefully people see that the financial industry and as such Deutsche Bank, remember what I said in my first AGM meeting as CEO, we want to be in the middle of the society. And middle of the society, if you again put it to Deutsche Bank, but also to Germany, means that we need a bank which is on the one hand focused on clients. But what is the success model of Germany? The success model of Germany is that we have been, since the Second World War, one of the most successful countries in exports, actually doing global business. And therefore we said in our purpose, we want to be that at home and abroad. We want to be actually the institution which is mirroring Germany in terms of being an internationally connected country. And therefore people hopefully see that, again, we have something which is directed and set up for the long term, where we put the client into the middle of what we are doing, and that we are providing protection, but also international approach. And hopefully the way we are living it, it will be also shown in our day-to-day acting.
You just said it. Our purpose statement clearly puts our clients at the center of everything we want to do. Do you want to talk a little bit about a concrete example that has really made you proud recently, where Deutsche Bank shows up in the way you really expected from us in order to live up to that promise vis-a-vis our clients?
Well, there are many examples. Unfortunately, I can't use individual client names. I would love to. And you know better than I do that I could list you 10, 15, 20 names in a second. But I give you I give you an example which I just personally experienced 3 or 4 weeks ago. We had a client conference over a long weekend in the south of Germany where we had 120 clients, a lot of family entrepreneurs and having their own family-owned companies. And we have this conference once a year, and kind of we are talking about the state of the world and where challenges are, where opportunities are, where actually we as a society can help, what we can do. And I have to say, the way in just observing our own people, because we had 20 or 25 Deutsche Bank people there, relationship managers from the corporate bank. We had senior investment bankers there covering clients. And we had, of course, our private bank there, in particular, wealth management. And the way they dealt with the client, the way we discussed items was not something, here's the private bank or here's the corporate bank, here's the investment bank. It was blended as a one bank culture. And that development I can see evolving and evolving. I mean, let's be clear. When I took over in 2018, to be honest, Deutsche Bank was kind of very much siloed. And we brought this bank together. And I think with the introduction of the purpose and the way we have supported it, thanks to your help, in particular with the cultural values, and this is Deutsche Bank's scheme, we have come to a situation that I think we have built a culture that for all of us, there is one thing most important, and this is that we are trying to bring and offer the entire Deutsche Bank to our clients. Because this world is so complex and is so difficult to manage that you simply can't do it only with the offering and solutions by a certain unit. You need the help of the investment bank or the wealth management or the asset management and the corporate bank. If this is really delivered in one go with one culture, then we have the unique Deutsche Bank culture and the unique Deutsche Bank purpose. And that I have seen 3 or 4 weeks ago in a way I haven't seen it in the years before. And it made me really happy.
You said it before, this journey is not only about business performance, but also about our role in society. And I think you were clear on that from the start of your time as CEO. Where is that contribution most relevant from your perspective?
One thing will never change, whether it is the geopolitical uncertainty, whether it's, the rapid explosion of artificial intelligence and the changes it brings to our business model. But we will only be successful, Ben, if the society, and I'm stressing society, not only our clients, but the society is trusting financial institutions. And the most important we need to build is trust. And like in personal life, but also in professional life, I'm convinced that you can only build trust over a long term. And therefore, again, we started with a purpose which is long term. I said at the start of this discussion, I want to have a purpose which survives, so to say, decades, where people say, this is the purpose which Deutsche Bank should have in 2050. And it is in this regard also formulated like that, because it is in this regard broad enough to cover things which, also actually include now what we see now, what we haven't seen 3 years ago, the development and the speed of AI. It's covered actually by this purpose. And in this regard, I think the most important in this regard is that the society is getting the long-term destiny of Deutsche Bank. And if they buy into that and they see that our day-to-day acting and handling is really all about lasting success and providing financial security, the society will see that one can trust Deutsche Bank. And if the reputation of Deutsche Bank is that one can trust this institution, it will give an even stronger backing to our existing clients and to those people who are not yet clients of Deutsche Bank. That is one part. The second part is, what can we contribute next to the purpose actually to the society? And I think in particular in Europe, and potentially even more so important in Germany, is actually the financial education of people when it comes to capital markets, when it comes to financial products. We have an issue here. And that also means if we are in the middle of the society, it is our responsibility as Deutsche Bank to actually train the society. We go into schools. I know what you are doing. I know what our people actually regionally are doing in order to try to educate and train young people when it comes to capital markets, to financial products, and how important that is. The problem of our pension is actually also a problem of financial literacy. And if we start improving that, we do something positive for the society. That doesn't mean that I potentially have a new client tomorrow, but it's something which will actually move and push our country. And therefore, this purpose and also our role has so many facets, actually. But I do believe at the end of the day, all this will support the trust in financial institutions and hopefully trust in Deutsche Bank.
Thank you, Christian. A personal question to the end. What does purpose-led leadership mean for you personally at the top of our organization?
Well, there's one other word in our purpose statement, and that's the first word, and that is dedicated. And also our claim is with deep dedication. And I do believe that, you cannot actually pronounce and express a purpose if you don't believe in it, if your heart and your soul is not behind that. And therefore, I do believe that all managers of Deutsche Bank, hopefully also all non-managers, but in particular, when you are in a managerial position, you need to lead with dedication, you need to lead with passion, and people need to see that that's what you are talking about is really coming from your heart. I mean, I can tell you the best marketing slogans. If I'm physically, so to say, not behind it, it doesn't make a difference. And that's number one. Number two is, and that is very tough, Ben, and I think we need to actually even get better at this. I think we got better at it, but we in the management board, but also in the group management committee, but I would say each executive committee, whenever we and you take decisions, do the test at the end of the decision making. And what is the test question? Just think about the decision you are about to take and ask the question whether this decision is covered or supported by our purpose. And if this is in stark contrast, then I would at least take 24 hours to review and saying, are we on the right path? And that is something which really got us on the right path when we were thinking about the strategy 25 to 28, because we always mark to market it with the purpose statement. And therefore it's, the dedication, the way you live your job every day. And secondly, also that you take the purpose statement and kind of mark to market your day-to-day decisions and strategic decisions against it.
Thank you for sharing these perspectives, Christian.
Thank you.
If there's one takeaway for our listeners, it's this. Purpose isn't about what a company says it believes. It's about what others can recognize in its decisions, its behavior, and its impact. Thank you for tuning into This is Deutsche Bank. If you enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe or leave us a comment. And do let us know what you would like us to cover in any future episode to come. We will be back soon. In the meantime, take care.